Yes, hello and welcome to this question and answer panel on student support at Stranmillis University College. My name is Anita Konrad. I am a lecturer and a member of the International Office Team at the University College of Teacher Education, Tirol in Austria.
Hello everybody, my name is Roland. I am from Innsbruck too, and I'm a lecturer for technical subjects, and I'm happy every year I'm happy to welcome a lot of students from Stranmillis College University, and I will host you with Anita at this panel session.
So we would like to focus first on the regular approach regarding student support, putting COVID-19 aside for a few minutes, but we will come to this topic later, of course. So question number one, and I hope it's okay for the gentlemen that we go ladies first. Question number one is to Patricia. What exactly is the Student Support Center, and could you explain to us what it offers for students?
Well, the Student Support Services offer a number of programs to our students, basically to support them with their academic, emotional and pastoral care. And so, for example, if a student was to come to us with a diagnosed disability, we can arrange for them to have perhaps extra time in their exams, or we can liaison with the teaching staff to put other type of supports in place, just to help them move on and to get the best of their ability here while they're in the college. We also have an occupational health nurse on site who's also in a position to make recommendations, and again is always there to speak to the student if they feel that they're struggling with various areas of their health. So that's also available to them. But something that we have here that is very popular with our international and Erasmus students is our Communication Skills Centre. And that is actually staffed by fellow peer tutors who have had some specialist training. And the student can go along with their assignment, and the peer tutor will help them to look at their essay, to maybe examine the essay and have a chat, and basically look at structure, layout, presentation, grammar and referencing. And as I say, it's turned out to be very popular, particularly with our international students. We really just try to encourage students to come into the office if they have any sort of an issue or a problem. It's sort of the first stop, really. They come in here, have a chat, and if I can't help them, I usually know somebody who can. Sometimes when they come from abroad, they're just a little bit homesick, and sometimes it's just a case of letting off a little bit of steam, and they're not getting on with their friends or they're missing their family. So they come in and have a chat, and it's all confidential, and we just kind of take things from there. But we do have a professional counselling service as well. That's a local office, and if required, we can arrange for a student to be seen there. And we have a number of areas also within the college that can help, but we have a chaplaincy element too. So we have a relationship with a number of denominational churches in the area. And again, if a student wishes to avail of that, we can arrange it. So basically, it's just a case of coming here and having the chat, having the talk, and then taking it from there. That's really it.
Really impressive. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, Ken Gibson, as the Director of Student and Learning Services, what is the main mission for the Student and Learning Services? What is your team's main concern?
Thank you for that very interesting question. We in Stranmillis have a student and learning support strategy, which has been approved by our governing body. And the strap line to that mission statement is ready, able and willing to learn, striving for success in a supportive learning community. And that's what we aim to do for our students. We aim to allow them to be successful in a supportive environment. So it doesn't matter who they are, where they're from, or their background. We want them to be successful in their studies at Stranmillis. Ultimately, that's our goal. So in terms of our overall purpose for the Student and Learning Services, we want to allow our students to be successful. We want them to We want our services to be student focused, because for us, the student is right in the centre. The Student Support Centre is in the centre of the campus. And for us, the students must be at the centre of what we do. If the student didn't exist, we wouldn't exist. So ultimately, the student is important, and the student must be our primary focus going forward. So we want to work with our students. Why? We feel that if the student is happy emotionally, physically, socially, psychologically, mentally, and spiritually, they will be better able to achieve their full potential. And their full potential is what they're entitled to achieve. And we want to work with the students to achieve that full potential. So we want them to achieve their full potential. We want them to feel supported in their efforts. And as they move from school into higher education, we want them to make that transition in a smooth and seamless way. We want them to feel empowered with their degree to get the best position they can when they leave here and the best graduate job. And I'll come back to that in a second. We want to seek to improve their attendance at university. We want to seek their engagement whilst they're here. And we want them to strengthen our retention rates so that the students start their course and they stay on course and they finish their course successfully at the end. We want them to enjoy their course. We want them to feel that they're safe and they're secure whilst here and to be successful. And we want them to be aware of the resources and the support which is available to them beyond that. I suppose we have, in terms of our strategy, we have 7 key themes. And very quickly, they are, first of all, physical well-being. We want the students to be physically well. And Patricia has referred to occupational health, and she's mentioned disability, and she's mentioned counselling. So we want to support the students to be physically well. We want the students to be emotionally and mentally well, and that's our second theme. Mental and emotional and psychological well-being, and we provide support again for those students who require that sort of support. It's available to them free of charge. And it's important to say that the support we offer to the students, all of that support is free of charge at no cost to the student, because, as I've said, the student is critically important to what we're doing. So we want the students to be emotionally, mentally well in themselves. And when they can set aside all of the things they bring from the outside, then they'll be more secure and more successful in their efforts on their course. So we provide, if they required, this counselling support free of charge. We look at things like relationships. Relationships can be difficult, for students, male to male, female to female, male to female, etc. So it's again that they recognise what health relationships are and that they can work with each other as part of that. The counselling service which we offer is regulated, it is officially approved, and it's professionally managed. So it is a proper setup which is properly managed and certified by the authorities. We want to look, the third theme is in terms of careers and employability, because I mentioned we want the students when they leave here to secure the best possible job which they can get. And we work with our students right from the point of time where they start their course, right through their degree, and for 2 years beyond graduation. We work with the students in terms of how do you prepare yourself to achieve and to secure the best possible job when you leave your degree? How do you apply for that job in terms of application forms? What do you say? What do you not say? What do you do when you attend for interview? And all of those sort of skills which are required to secure employment, we look at as well as part of careers and employability. And we offer that to all of our students right from day one of their course, right through to graduation and for up to 2 years beyond graduation, because we feel we have a responsibility for the students right beyond graduation as well, because they're still our graduates. The third area is in terms of lifestyle. Sorry, the fourth area is in terms of lifestyle. Things like healthy eating and healthy lifestyle, and the idea of trying to promote with the students to keep active physically and mentally. We offer to our own students, there are different support packages financially which we offer, and we work with our students. Some of the students come from difficult backgrounds financially, and we will work with those students who are our students here in Stranmillis to support them financially if we can, provided they meet certain criteria within that. We seek to work with the students in terms of promoting their safety, and that has been a big issue, particularly over COVID times, where safety and well-being have been paramount in what we've been doing here on site. The fifth theme is we want to support our students through development, and we offer them a number of courses outside their degree, again to strengthen their profile. When they apply for work, they have other things to offer. And again, we would encourage students who are joining us from across Europe to take part in those activities as well. We want, the sixth area is spiritual well-being. As Patricia has mentioned, we have connections with a range of different chaplaincies and churches across all denominations, and we can put students in touch with those respective denominations if they so wish to do that. And the seventh area is we want to support our staff to support our students, because the reason why the staff are here are to support the students going forward. So that in many ways is student support, is supporting our staff to support our students to be successful in their efforts.
Thank you very much, Ken. Very interesting.
Many thanks for your structured information and detailed answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anita.
Yes, and finally, students have been mentioned that are the central part here your university is structured around. So we are happy to also have Jonathon Reid as the president of the student union with us. And also in Austria, the student union is a very important body of the university system. So Jonathon, briefly, what's the benefit for students to be a member of the student union? What do you do for students at Stranmillis?
Well, the student union really is kind of a point where the students can come and get support if they don't want to go to the college directly. So we would support them academically. So if they're needing support with a class, if they're having any issues with any class, they can come to us, we'll be able to sort them. But we also support them sort of non-academically. So we would hold a lot of events throughout the year. So last year, for example, when I was the international secretary, we held food night and culture nights, and we held trips to go to different places in Belfast for the internationals. So they all seemed to really enjoy that last year. We also have a buddy system that we put in place, so students sign up and then they're paired with international students so they can ask questions if they have a friendly face on campus, and if they need anything they can go to that buddy or come up to the student union. We have a specific person in our team to deal with just the internationals, so their main priority in the year is to make sure the internationals are settling in. And so it's really important for us that they feel a part of the college and they can come to us for any issues. So that's basically what the student union is, and it is free and you're automatically a member when you join the college. So you don't need to be paying anything extra, or you don't need to sign up as soon as you're part of a student of Stranmillis, you're part of the student union, and we are very happy to help you.
Thank you very much, Jonathon. Roland, you're on mute still. It happens to everyone.
Thank you very much. The final round covers the reason why we meet here virtual, not in person, COVID-19. We would like to direct these questions to all our panel members. Firstly, how did the epidemic affect students at Stranmillis? If possible, how did you have to adjust your services? And secondly, what were the effects on mobility and international students? I don't know who wants to answer first.
Maybe I'll start off, if you don't mind, Roland. We had put in place, we had worked for many months putting in place a business continuity plan. And we had sought to put in place plans for what if, and one of those what ifs was a pandemic. And whilst we had planned that, we thought, what is the chance of this happening? Probably very, very remote. And guess what? Last March, that's exactly what happened. And we had to put actually into action our business continuity planning for a pandemic. Most of our services over the years have been face-to-face services, because in many ways it's the social interaction with when you meet the students, you chat to them, you see them face-to-face, you're able to discuss with them, you can interact with them, you can have those conversations. Clearly, the pandemic, with the college closure, we had to close the college in March in response to a government directive. And the college was locked, part of the lockdown, the college closed. But as part of that, teaching continued remotely. We used our virtual learning environment, Canvas, to conduct teaching and learning. And we then moved our support services online. And we worked with the students via email, via text message, via phone call, Microsoft Teams, and we conducted interviews and conversations that way into a whole brand new way of working in many respects, because we still felt it was important. Email is fine in some respects, but when you see the person face to face, when you have that conversation with them over the phone, or even better by video call, you get a better sense of how they are and how they are truly feeling. And we sought to support our students during that period of pandemic. And that has continued even until today, when we're still not out of the pandemic situation. We're obviously learning to work with it. We're learning to work around it. It's creating significant challenges for all of us. But we are working to support our students still in many ways, the nature of their issues have moved and have changed, because they're now facing issues to do with remote learning, to do with financial pressures, maybe loss of income, because they have lost part-time employment as a result of the pandemic. So those are issues which we're working with our students to try and help them deal with and try and resolve. And we're working with them now, albeit in a remote sense, via Teams primarily, to do that. In terms of the impact upon mobility and international students, in March, when at that stage, different countries across the world were closing their borders, our view was at that stage, it was best for the students to be at home with their families, because at that stage, we didn't know how long those closures would sit in place for. And we didn't want students to feel remote and isolated from their families, because obviously they had a sense of connection to their home and to their kith and kin, if you like. So it was important for them to be with their families. So we worked with the students to allow them to travel home to their various locations. And for our students who were away, we worked with them to make sure they were brought home safely. Because again, we weren't sure how long borders would be closed for and when they would be free to travel again. Now, obviously, we're much more aware of the restrictions now, and what is happening, albeit changing on a day-to-day basis. But we are aware of the fact that, you know, when countries go into lockdown, they go into lockdown for a period of time. And at the end of that lockdown period, students are then free to move again, as all the residents are as well. So we are now able to work, I think, in many ways, work around and work with and coexist with the restraints and the restrictions of the COVID pandemic. Nonetheless, it does create challenges for all of us, but fundamentally, our bottom line remains the support of our students. And ultimately, throughout all of this situation, the well-being and the health and the safety of our student has been paramount in all that we have sought to do with our students, both our own students and our visiting students from across Europe as well.
I think we have to finish now. And I want to say, Patricia, Ken, and Jonathon, thank you very much for joining this panel and the discussion. We enjoyed talking to you a lot. Unfortunately, our time is over already.
Well, Roland, could I and thank you and Anita for your contribution today, for your work with our students, and for your engagement with Stranmillis. You have been very loyal supporters of Stranmillis and of the Stranmillis student, and we would thank you for that. And we hope that that can continue going forward into the future. So sincere thanks for your work with our students over the years, and specifically for your input and your contribution today.
Thanks a lot, Ken. Same to you, and we appreciate a lot that we have been invited today and we were able to contribute a little bit, and together we will keep on working on the Erasmus idea to make it real for our students. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.